All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about Leon Edwards and we're going to talk about Jorge Masvidal because Jorge Masvidal said some things and then Leon said some things and then Leon said what he's going to do from a strategy standpoint. And I read this and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to do a video because Leon is blowing it, blowing it, right? And I didn't create this channel to be a Monday morning quarterback, calling shots from the sidelines. Hey, you should do this in your career. But bottom line, I know I'm right about some of these things as it relates to the business and the strategy, and this is definitely one of them, okay? Definitely. And so I am going to Monday morning quarterback Leon's next steps and what he thinks he's doing here, and I'm going to tell him exactly why, because he's not in the position that he thinks he is at all. Whoever his manager is, if this is coming from his manager, what he is saying he's going to do, in the face of what his options are, I don't like doing this. I have a feeling I'm going to end up running into these guys at some point, but I have to say, decision-making. Very poor advice. Just, matter of fact, awful advice. Very, very bad, not realizing what your position is, okay? Like everything that you do in this game has to be based on where am I right now? If you don't understand where you are right now, how can you possibly make a coherent decision about what you're going to do next? And clearly, Leon does not understand where he is right now based on this. All right, so if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. If you want to see more videos like this, then ring the bell, make sure your notifications are on. And if you're sitting here like, why does he always ask me? It's because every good channel does that, okay? Except for Chael, because Chael is Chael, so he knows everybody's just going to subscribe, all right? I can't be Chael. Jesus, you guys, I don't like how you make me feel. Just kidding. Anyway, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, comment. Give me your thoughts if you think I'm wrong. Actually, I'm totally serious about that. If you think I'm wrong about this, give me your thoughts. If you think I'm right about this, give me your thoughts. If you want me to go fuck myself, tell me that as well. Those are really good for the algo. Anyway, all right, so here's the deal. So Leon Edwards just won a lopsided decision over Nate Diaz, which no one remembers because Nate Diaz, being probably the most popular fighter in the UFC, almost knocked him out in the last minute, and that is all that anyone remembers. You go to the movies, and there can be a movie that's incredible, like an incredible movie, and then the end sucks. It's like some twist that's totally idiotic, and you're like, oh my gosh, like what was that? Or a movie where you're like, I don't really know what to make of this film. And then the end just kicks you straight in the face and you're like, whoa. Now, what do you say about the movie in those two scenarios, right? The ending sucks. You're like, I don't know, man, that movie was whatever. Or a movie that you didn't really like that much, but then sick ending. You're like, that movie was vicious, dude, right? The ending is what people remember, okay? Recency bias, the way that they felt. That's how people remember things, is what was the emotion that I had tied to that experience, right? So like, the most potent emotional experience everyone had was the end of the fight when Nate almost knocked Leon out, which means that's what everyone remembers, okay? So the impression that you just got your 9th straight win or whatnot and that's where you're at is not correct, okay? It's not correct. And Jorge Masvidal is giving you a do-over on a silver platter. And it's even better than the Nate Diaz one because there's beef there, okay? So here's the deal. Jorge Masvidal has a couple options for his next fight. Now, he knows he just got 2 title shots. He knows that his odds of getting another title shot are extremely low. They're just not going to happen without him fighting someone else, right? He knows that. So he's got Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Leon Edwards as his, best options to fight, right? Those are his best options to fight. All of those are big fights. If he beats Nick Diaz, that's a tough sell that he gets another title shot. If he beats Nate Diaz, same story. If he beats Leon Edwards, he's right back in the mix. And he's made that clear in this statement because he basically called Leon Edwards out directly. He said, and I'm going to read this, Leon Edwards picked up a one-sided unanimous decision. This is not what Masvidal said. This is the article. After the win, Edwards' biggest rival, Jorge Masvidal, took the opportunity to critique his performance. Let me just stop right there. His biggest rival, okay, that's what this says in the media. His biggest rival, Jorge Masvidal, took the opportunity to critique his performance, okay? Let me rewind. I'm sorry, I'm going to tangent real quick. Why was the Nate Diaz fight so important for Leon Edwards? Why was it such a big fight, even though Nate was not in the top 10 or whatever? Okay, the answer is because he has the ranking, he has the streak, he needs the hype. He needs the hype. He has to take it from someone. He almost did, and then he lost it at the last minute, right? At the finish line, in the egg race, he tripped over his shoe and he dropped the fucking egg on the 1 yard line. It's unfortunate. He fought a great fight up until then, but You can't change the past. You're in the situation that you're in. So who is going to represent your do-over? Who has a bunch of hype and a rivalry where you can capture what you lost? Answer, Jorge Masvidal, okay? And so the answer should be, I want Jorge Masvidal, unless you think you're going to get a title shot next, which Leon does, and he's not, okay? He's not going to. That's the position he thinks he's in, and he's not, okay? But anyway, let me read you what Masvidal said, because he's handing it to him on a silver platter, okay? Biggest rival, blah, blah, blah. Naturally coming from Masvidal, my mom is calling me, not now. Naturally coming from Masvidal, many expected Gamebred to fire off pure ether when breaking it all down. But surprisingly, his reaction to Rocky's big win was mixed. It was a good performance by Leon. Masvidal said in a recent media scrum, Leon did what he does. He keeps asking for more money and more things, but he's not a finisher. He's not a fighter. He was winning happily, and he wasn't willing to put himself at risk and go out there and get those finishes. That's why I don't think he's in a position that he wants to be. He's not going out there and fighting every second and every minute, Masvidal said. He's a very skilled guy, but he just doesn't have that grit in him, that meanness to go out there and beat a top contender the way that he should. So he said something else. He basically said he's not a fighter, right? He said he doesn't have grit, he doesn't have meanness, he's not a fighter. Okay, that's what Masvidal said. And then he said, my three options are Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, and Leon Edwards. So, wide open opportunity, okay? Then Leon Edwards responded to that on Twitter and said, that boy awake. The last time he said that, he got put to sleep. I do not like when people do that, dude. I don't like when people do that. I don't like when people take, like, if a person gets knocked out by another fighter, you know, like Fabia did about Conor McGregor, where you're like, okay, Conor got knocked out. What the fuck does that have to do with you? And in this case, okay, Masvidal got knocked out by the best welterweight in the world that beat you when he wasn't even close to as good as he is now. What the hell, like, what does that have to do with anything, you know? And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm like, it's good that Leon responded. I just, in that particular way of going at him, I'm not a fan of that. But responding to Masvidal publicly is the exact correct thing to do for 100% sure, because the correct answer is to build this fight, to build hype, to build a beef. Because what are you missing? Hype. What did you almost have? Hype. What did you lose? Hype. So you're in the exact same position you were before the Nate Diaz fight, maybe up whatever your contract is. Your position is unchanged, okay? So, what did Leon Edwards say, though, right? So let's read this. What was Leon Edwards' comment on what he was going to do coming out of that fight? So, Leon Edwards, this past Saturday, UFC 263, gave a showcase opportunity, but didn't quite go as planned. Let's say they do give Colby the title shot. I'm not fighting no one else until it's a title shot. That's just it, Edwards told the UFC's John Gooden. I'm not gonna start fighting 10, 11, 12 fights and still ain't got a title shot. I've earned my way. I didn't bitch and moan when I took my loss against Kamaru. I worked my way back up, and now I have a 9 or 10 fight win streak. I feel like I deserve it. Duh. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I understand. You are an exceptional fighter. You do not understand the game that you're playing like I do, apparently. Okay? That fight streak is commendable, and if this game was run by fairness, you probably have a good point to make, right? You probably have a very decent point. But hang on, let me finish this. Colby went and got knocked out for the title shot, went and got a weird win, and now is back in the title shot, which is fucked up. It is what it is, but let's say they do give him the title shot, then I'll fight the winner later on this year, but I'm not fighting anyone else, okay? So this should answer your own situation. Colby lost, went and got one win, gets a rematch. Why? Because he's a huge draw, okay? He's a huge draw. And you can be a huge draw also if you hype up the Masvidal fight, go beat Masvidal, then you'll be in the title picture. I mean, like, for real, there will be no question, okay? Because right now you could just wait and see what happens with Gilbert Burns and Wonderboy, but I'm going to tell you right now, if Wonderboy wins, Wonderboy's going to get a title shot before you. He just is. He's a bigger name, and he hasn't lost to Kamaru Usman, okay? Like, that's the bottom line. If Gilbert Burns beats Wonderboy, then maybe you can probably wait and get a title shot against the winner. Maybe. But then you're also banking on Kamaru Usman beating Colby, because if Colby wins and you think that they're not going to fight Masvidal and Colby if one of them has the belt, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. If Colby wins, Masvidal fights him first. Guaranteed. I mean, unless they do the Kamaru trilogy first. But the first defense where Colby has any control over who he fights, bet your fucking life it's against Masvidal. Okay? I mean, you're out of position, dude. You're the bubble team in the NFL that, like, okay, we won, but now we need Pittsburgh to lose and we need Atlanta to win or whatever. You know, like, that's where you're at. You need Wonder Boy to lose, okay? And you need Kamaru to win. Not impossible, but that's the position you're in, okay? You're still also not going to be a huge draw. This is your chance to become a huge draw regardless of what happens with the title. If you go out, you start a bunch of shit with Masvidal, you end up winning that fight, you can take his hype. I know you're not like a big, like, you know, boss on the mic guy. It's not your thing. You are a tactician. You're an exceptional fighter. An exceptional fighter. Okay? Exceptional. Very bad luck. You've had terrible luck. But the correct play here is to hype a Masvidal fight and go beat him. I mean, or at least go fight him, right? Take that fight, right? If you think that you're going to beat Kamaru Usman, you should be confident that you can beat Masvidal. I'm not saying that you will, but I'm just saying, like, if you're confident you can beat Kamaru, why would you not think you could beat Masvidal? Masvidal punched you in the fucking face, man. Like, I mean, that's like, Masvidal is saying you're not mean, and he punched you in the face backstage. Like, there is a video, not just that he did it. There's everyone in the world has seen Masvidal piece you up backstage, like, and he's offering you a fight here, and you're like, nah, I'll just wait. What? Like, what do you, like, that's, come on, man. He's hit. I mean, it isn't, there should also just be like I don't know, some principle involved, right? And I understand it's like, no, I've waited this long. I've fought all these guys. I want a title shot. I deserve it. I get it. I understand the position you think you're in and what fairness would dictate. And I'm telling you, fairness don't matter. It just doesn't matter. Does not matter. Now, Oliveira, it paid off for him. But the reason for that was because Khabib fucking retired and Conor got knocked out. Okay? Do you understand what he had to, like, have happen in order for him to get his title shot? You're in the same position. And maybe it plays out and maybe it doesn't. But the correct play is to go avenge Masvidal punching you in the fucking face backstage and then get your title shot. Okay? That's the correct answer. There's just no two ways about it. Anyway, that's what I've got. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Peace.